Magnificat anima mea Dominum,
et exsultat spiritus meus in Deo salutari meo.
Welcome to the new episode of the theme Saint Teresa of Avila, Mother of Interior Souls. Cheerfulness is the sign by which we can know the authenticity of one who is united with joy, because Jesus gives anyone who approaches him with joy and contentment. St. Paul tells the Philippians, "My brothers and sisters, rejoice in the Lord." And to the Corinthians, "Brothers, we wish you joy." And 2 Corinthians 9:7, he says, "God loves a cheerful giver." In the prayer of spiritual marriage, which is the highest stage of mystical contemplation, a soul is permanently, habitually, uninterruptedly, and experientially conscious of the abiding presence of the Most Holy Trinity, our eternal bliss. So naturally, a soul must be always happy and content in every moment of its life. Cheerful, witty, poking fun at herself and occasionally at other people, Saint Teresa of Avila seemed to exert an even greater influence over people with her magnetic personality. A Dominican priest said of her, "With merely 2 words and that amazing smile of hers, she enchanted everybody." However, she abhorred pretension. Once, after he had been introduced to a group of pious ladies involved in church work, she confided, "They were saints in their own opinion, but when I got to know them better, they frightened me more than all the sinners I had ever met." Her attractive and dynamic personality was not submerged by the intensity of the mystical experiences. Throughout the rest of her life, she was the same witty, voluble person who often perplexed people who met her for the first time and could not imagine that this urban nun was the same one who was supposed to be receiving visions and revelations from the Lord. She was always insistent that her own nuns should be cheerful, and she ruthlessly excluded from her convents any nun who seemed to have a melancholic temperament. She said, "Lord, deliver us from sour-faced saints." And the nuns of her convents leave us an unforgettable image of the saint playing the mandolin and dancing for her sisters at recreation. She wrote, "My chief fear is that the sisters should lose the spirit of joy by which the Lord leads them. For I know what a discontented nun is." Prayer, work, cheerfulness are the 3 jewels of character of a Carmelite according to Saint Teresa. Not only for a Carmelite, for every Christian. On finding out the sisters in the chapel at the time of community recreation, she remarked, God, deliver me from those foolish virgins. She wrote, believe me, I fear an unhappy nun more than many devils. Combined with the cheerfulness was her rare common sense. Her letters are filled with practical advice for her various friends to get more sleep, eat better food, consult intelligent counselors. She prays to be delivered from foolish devotions, and she chides superiors who are too rigorous with their charges. On one of her travels, she was criticized for eating an expensive partridge when it was served to her, and she looked up, surprised, and said, there is a time for partridge and a time for penance. To a Carmelite friar who wrote to her, urging her to accept a girl into the convent, she answered, I was very amused at your assurance that you could evaluate her after meeting her one time. We women cannot be summed up as easily as that. In connection with the foundation of the House of Salamanca, St. Teresa and another sister had one night to shut themselves in a room with straw. They slept on the straw. The saint asked her companion sister, who looked restless, what are you looking for? Nobody can possibly get in here. She replied, Mother, I am wondering what you would do all alone if I were to die here. The saint replied, well, sister, I shall consider what is to be done if the occasion arises. Now let me go to sleep. The story of the last months of St. Teresa was chiefly of journeys begun with great apprehensiveness and punctuated by illnesses and flights against depression. She founded 17 convents, the last being in Burgos. Journeys to Burgos were very tedious. She needed help drag the carriages out of the marshes. In fact, it was very rash of anyone to go that way, especially with carriages, for if they heeled slightly, all would be lost. The roads were frequently flooded. Once, she had a fall during this journey. It is of this journey to Burgos that the famous story is told of her complaint to Jesus. After the fall, she complained to the Lord. Why, Lord, after all this? Jesus replied, this is how that I treat my friends. Then her ready retort, yes, my Lord, that is why you have so few of them. Authentic or not, it may be, but it is highly characteristic. Those who really enjoy the joy of the Lord in their prayer life will sing with the psalmist, let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Thank you.